rushing because we're ready for our only second bracket reset we've ever had here in ANZ in the entirety since we have started the HCS. And I'm excited because the Chiefs, last time they did this, they 3-0'd Divine Mind. I'm not saying that that's going to be the same story here, lads, but if history repeats itself, then maybe we might see a 3-1 in favor of the Chiefs. But Hooters, looking at this brand new best of five, we're starting out with King of the Hill was what we ended on last series. And maybe that might play a little bit into the favor of the Chiefs because we talked about how strong Divine Mind are on these Slayers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just one thing I was looking at as soon as this came up was how many Slayers and where are they? And so we have 2 in games 2 and 5. So, you know, if you're a betting man, you'd say Divine Mind will take those ones. But look, the Chiefs, there's 3 objective games in there as well. So they've clearly been the better objective team throughout tonight. And so for Divine Mind, they really just need to find a way to grab 1 or 2 of these away from the Chiefs. But we are moving straight into it, Justin. Obviously, We've just had that come off the reset and we've got the momentum going. We want to get straight into this. So we are jumping into King of the Hill on Recharge. It's a game type we have seen quite a few times so far tonight, but we will be just loading into this one. And look, it's all on the line now. I think the last time, as Luke was alluding to before, where we did have a bracket reset, it was the Chiefs who managed to bracket reset against Divine Mind and take the win there. So Divine Mind, that will obviously be top of mind for them and looking to try and get one back on that ledger. But we are starting off here on board with Plasma as he is starting to, oh sorry, we're not Plasma, it's Beastn. Sorry, I was reading that wrong. We are with Beastn here, just trying to get a little bit of setup here around this A catwalk area, but moving back now across to long haul. There's a fair bit of free space there, and we did have that camo. I think it managed to just get burnt. Pips had that in, but Madsy was able to take that down with the help of Beastn, and straight away, Justin, we see Chiefs pulling away with a bit of hill time.
Yeah, they do. And what a setup they have as well. Beastn just watching over Madsy like a hawk, holding them down. And, you know, Swayz, he's got that shock rifle in hand, but he can't do a lot with it because the players are just locking things down so much. You know, Beastn just holding him back there and raided with the flank to try and shut him down. That's a critical kill there to get Beastn out of the way so they can get into that hill. And just as I say that, raided jumps in, cops a couple of grenades, decides, you know what, bros, I don't want to be in the hill. And now switching over to Swayz, who's still alive. He was being such a nuisance, but held back by Beastn. But with him out of the way, he's got free reign. Now he's down in the hill, holding things down. And we are going free flying camera. Let's have a look at the action. Bird's eye view, everybody checking things out. Swayz, he does fall, unfortunately. And look at the scoreline. It's kind of early to look at the kills unless you're raided, who's already on 5 hoots.
That's what I was just going to say. You read my mind, Justin. Raided, the one who's starting to pick up nice and strong. We were saying before, he hasn't really had the tournament that he had last weekend, but for him to light fire, that can go a long, long way in getting Divine Mind the ascendancy in this resetted series. So we are pretty much even Stevens right now, with both teams locked on roughly the same amount of time in their hill. We do have that hand in the sword of Raided though, so that's that sword in the hand of Raided, so that's going to go a long way into helping him in those close quarter battles like we just saw him have there. Unfortunately, Slayz gets the drop on him. He's going to have to push back. It's not the Halo 2 sword anymore. He can't pull it out as quickly as you could in that game, and he's going to have to back up. And just there we do see 3 down, 4 down for Divine Mind. Hill time being clocked up for Chiefs, so they are really starting to put a bit of distance between them and Divine Mind on this hill. I almost thought there was a stick there from BZIIRK. It just missed, and with camo, Madsy is just sitting pretty in the hill. Beastn, still Plasma, still not even sure where he is. You got to know he's in there somewhere, but doesn't manage to get the drop on him, Justin. Normally we've seen players be really good at picking out these camo opponents.
Yeah, I think maybe it was just a random spot he was sitting right in the corner. And even just the color from the hill as well might have been throwing off their gaze just a little bit. And it's mayhem. Players are falling left and right. We are on board with Pip from Divine Mind currently grabbing himself a couple of plasma grenades, tries to put them to use instantly, but not able to get much going. The Chiefs, they've got the first hill on the board for their squad. Now with Slayz, he's been a standout slayer for his squad tonight, hasn't he, Hoots? He just consistently seems to be putting up big numbers. Now he's got that sword waiting around the corner, ready to take out Pips, but he didn't need it that time, which means that Divine Mind still don't know that Slayz has got that sword in his back pocket, just waiting to surprise someone. And I love this positioning. It's such different gameplay when you have teams that are collapsing on things and go, we've just got to hold down this hill, I'll watch these angles for you, and just hold players at bay. It is a very different game type than, say, Oddball.
Geez, Divine Mind have not been able to get any hill time in this round so far. Chiefs, this is their game type, Justin. We saw them against BBR as well, just how strong they were with it. They know exactly when to hold hill. They know when to use the hill almost as bait effectively to try and keep the opponent's man. Look at this, I love this from Beastn, just going straight in. Unfortunately, I think he ended up going through one of the guys he had a melee on then. But while that was happening, he was moving out because he knew that his team had locked that second hill in. So Divine Mind not even touching that second hill. Chiefs taking it completely uncontested, but a bit fortuitously, they managed to spawn in this third hill. So they're racking up a nice bit of time to start with. A player or two down for Chiefs here and there, and they're racking up, and they're already almost halfway, Justin. So this is more of what they needed.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick sometimes, doesn't it? And Swayz with that sword and the grapple, he just happens to get himself out of the position just there. And here comes the Chiefs to lock that one down. Yes, Divine Mind is pretty close to being able to take that one out, but the thing is, it doesn't matter how much time you spend in the hill, you have to close it out. You have to get that point. Otherwise, it means nothing. And Swayz goes down. Now Slayz has got the sword in his hand, and the Chiefs, they're closing in on the same scoreline the Divine Mind had on that. And here's Slayz. He's just going to chill on the baggage, take down Swayz, and that's just such a critical kill because you see that Swayz was a man with a plan, and he had so much momentum, and he was just cut in half.
Jeez, Divine Mind, apart from that initial hill time in this one that they got because of their spawns, just have not been able to get anything back here. Hill Guardian for BZIIRK, so he's just been sitting in here pretty the whole time, keeping Divine Mind completely away from it, and they pick up this third hill straight away. It's just been a real robbing victory so far for them right now, and it looks like that they're going to be easily able to take this one out because Divine Mind just have not been able to work together to pull them out of any of the hills that they've been able to get set up in. We did see in the last game on Recharge King of the Hill that this bottom one was where the chaos really begins. So Divine Mind are just going to have to try and really scrap some time on this one because it looks like the hills that require setup, they're just not really able to do much with. Pips there, a nice kill there on Beastn, so he'll be able to survive there, but just going to be taken down straight away as Madsy comes in and drops him. 3 down again for Divine Mind as we do see Madsy get back in their hill. He's been really grabbing a lot of hill time for the Chiefs so far, Justin. He really is the objective player, but not just that, he's putting in the kills as well. 11 kills, 4 assists, only 7 deaths, so he's being really conservative with his life.
Yeah, when you have a player that's got such a confident shot as well, putting in hill time, it's kind of like, hey, we better clean out this hill, and then you just have Madsy waiting there to ambush you. It's not a position that the players would like to be in, to have to go in and clean Madsy out of a hill. But now with Rated, he's 11 and 10. He had a bit of a hot start, but things have cooled off a little bit. He's still top fragging for his squad, but Divine Mind in the slaying department seems to be struggling a little bit. Have a look at the Chiefs. They are all in the double digits, and Slayz on 16. He's going to have 20 kills before this game is over, no doubt.
They're not just all in the double digits, Justin, they're actually all positive as well. So none of them going with a negative KD right now, which shows just across the board they are outslaying, and that's obviously resulting in this lengthy hill time they're able to get, these massive chunks of time that Divine Mind are just really struggling to stop right now. We do have 2 down for Divine Mind, 2 down for Chiefs, and we see, look, Divine Mind just can't even get into that tunnel there. They're huddled around that crate on the left there, just trying to stop Beastn from going. Beastn getting nice and aggressive there. He does drop shields on both of the Divine Mind players down there, and it looks like they should probably go down, although they're doing quite a good job to stay alive. The nades coming in, though, will stop that. Plasma will go down. Pips must be one shot there. Somehow managing to stay alive in the corner and just playing really dogged defense on this hill because he knows if they lose this one, then it's game over, and that's a real run that the Chiefs start to get, having already reset this series.
Yeah, and Madsy in the hill once again, staying alive there and just valuing his life, not trying to like, oh, I'll milk it, I'll milk it, I'll milk it. He went, no, I'm going to reposition, try and stay alive. He does get taken down, but there's those little plays. you wait for your shields to recharge, or do you go to the respawn screen for 8 seconds and then have to rotate across the map? See ya, Pips have fun in the water, taking him down. And it does look like Beastn has that camo as well. Madsy almost sending him off with the repulsor, and there's another player, and they're back and forth, and look at that. The Chiefs win game 1 pretty decidedly.
Yeah, that was a real stomping. I mean, 4-0 in King of the Hill, but it wasn't just 4-0. It was the fact that Divine Mind never really got any kind of hill ascendancy or were able to get really anywhere close to capping any of those ones. There were maybe a couple where they got to halfway, but for the most part, the Chiefs just really dictated the terms of all 4 of those hills. And you know, as we said, when we went into that final one down in the tunnel, it usually is a scrap, and that's where Divine Mind were able to probably get the best chance at capturing one. But for the most part, the Chiefs just controlled the map really flawlessly. So that's really the tale that we're seeing right now, is that when it comes to objective game types, the Chiefs certainly do have the upper hand there. And that's a worry for Divine Mind, because in this series, as is most series, you're always going to be tilted more towards objectives than to Slayers. Pips, you know, and Plasma, they probably had a bit of a rough one, but across the board, we did say before, I think it was every Chiefs player that managed to go positive in that game. And when every player is going positive, regardless if you're doing a Slayer or an objective, you really are going to struggle to stop a team going that well.
Yeah, big time. Fact of the matter is, you need Slayz to create opportunities. You know, that's just how it works. You've got to clear out those hills so you can go in and get some time yourself. So if you're getting outslayed by every player on the opposite team, it just means you're going to have a bad time. And that's why Chiefs was just so strong. They're outslaying them, they're out-rotating them, and they were holding the objectives better than they were. So Divine Mind, they've got to get their heads in the game, because they're not the same Divine Mind that we saw earlier in the night. Like, the Chiefs have responded, and Divine Mind seems to be crumbling under the pressure a little bit, Hoots.
Yeah, it's got to become so mental right now, right? Like, you know, they won the first series, they got reversed in the second one, and now they're already 1 down. At this point, all the momentum is with the Chiefs. So Divine Mind really need to find something. They got to find something that can bring them back into this. But it can be so hard, Justin. I mean, you and I both know when playing, sometimes you just have a couple runs of bad games and you get in your head, start doing...
That's never happened to me.
Never to you. All right, it's all for me then. But you know, you just start doing stupid things. You start charging yourself because you think, well, I need to do something massive to get my team back into it. But Halo is such a team game that when you are randomly charging, taking on 2 or 3 opposition, you just have no chance really, unless you can get ultra lucky. So yeah, it's a time where I think, you know, Divine Mind use this time between games to just say, guys, what are we doing? You know, what do we really want to stand for in terms of our gameplay here? Are we going to be going out of our shells? Are we going to be going back into our shells, I should say? Or are we going to bring that same kind of aggression that we have in previous games? And this is the perfect one to flip it around. Slayer on Aquarius, we have seen them dominate on this map and game type several times tonight. So if they're really going to have any chance, I'll say this right now, if they're going to have any chance, I think, of winning this series, they have to win this game, and they have to win it pretty definitively.
They certainly do. I know exactly what Divine Minds needs to do, Hoots. They're going to start shooting some bodies. Like, the Chiefs, they reset themselves mentally by having some fun, going for some 360s. But Divine Mind, they're going to start shooting some bodies and get that confidence up so they can start getting their mojo back. And Pips with some shots across map, trying to shut down BZIIRK there. That camo still poised up top mid. No one scooped it just yet. Pips rotating around to try and clear out some players. Here's this Chiefs push just so aggressive to take them down, and they're trading things out. Rated watching for Madsy to pop out. Madsy scampering away with his life. That's such a critical kill they needed to get. Now BZIIRK with that camo, Hoots. This is going to be so key for them. And look, he's sneaking up right behind him. He can't pick a target. He's so greedy. It's like, which one do I pick first? And here comes the collapse. Like Pips, he just 180s and goes, there's a one-shot camo player behind me. I have to shut him down, which he does.
It's just spoiled for choices before with that camo, because they've changed directions multiple times, and it can be tricky to try and pick which one you're going to take. We do have the Chiefs jumping out to a nice early lead here, 8-4. So we have seen Divine Mind really be getting the jump on teams when it comes to Slayers, but this is not the case this time. Still just a slight lead for the Chiefs. We have had a few of them be dropped on, unfortunately. I think it was Slayz before, just missing a pretty simple melee, just wasn't getting that lunge there. But 9-6, Chiefs still maintaining this lead, and we are seeing a bit of a collapse in onto the the flag here. Beastn will be dropped though, so BZIIRK's going to have all to do by himself. I think he has to go up against 2 players, so some nade damage will come in. He scampers away. I love it again, being really conservative with the life, coming back, waiting for his teammates to spawn in, and with a teammate helping him out here, I thought he might be able to get a chance to push in. It was Beastn that spawned there, so Beastn does get the trade, but a double for Swayz there is exactly what they needed. Swayz is out to a really strong start here, 6 kills, 2 deaths. So he's starting to heat up again, Justin. We saw at the start of the last game, he was doing that, couldn't really sort of, I guess, trailed off towards the end a little bit, but Slayz are his bread and butter. This is where he does his best work, and he needs to pull something out here for his team. This camo is about to pop as well, so it'll be interesting to see if he tries to make a play for it.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's just got to catch fire. We've seen him do it before, and a Slayer game is a perfect opportunity for him to just show us what he can do in the raw shooting ability. But scores are basically tied up at the moment, and 2 kills the difference. Might as well be Zippo and Swayz managing to find one, but Slayz, he's got a camo. That's 2 camos in a row for the Chiefs currently. Nice. Divine Mind, they've got to get more objective focus with those power-ups. They can't let them go uncontested. They did well to shut it down though, Hoots, so it's not all bad on the camo front. And now with Pips putting some shots in, he's found one, valuing his life, waiting to pop out. He cops a little tap in the bum there by BZIIRK, and he takes him down. BZIIRK just sliding out. The disrespect to Swayz, but no, Swayz getting the better of him in that situation, but Madsy was there to clean things up, and Madsy going in, chasing down Plasma. Plasma desperately running for his life, trying to stay alive, but no, he's hunted down and executed and just taken down there. And the Chiefs, I don't know if you can feel it, that momentum is starting to shift in the Chiefs' favour.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on, Justin. We're seeing Madsy starting to get aggressive. He's running around. They do have them, I think, pinned down in this bottom car area, though they're not going to be able to really push in. Divine Mind managed to scoot out of there pretty quick. I think they knew their spawns were coming in a pretty rough spot. A bit of team nades coming through on Madsy. There will drop his shields. He's smart to back up here. Just make sure he can get those shields back before going to fight a number of Divine Mind enemies, actually. But 2 kill lead, 2 Chiefs. I like this double backing here from Madsy. The nades, unfortunately, will come in. That'll be 2 down for Chiefs. So a bit of a swing around right now. Swayz, he's really starting to heat up. 10 kills, 4 deaths. So he's leading the way for both teams right now. 11 kills now, I should say. So when Swayz is catching fire, you do see the momentum starting to shift towards Divine Mind. There are still Plasma and Rated probably not racking in the kills as much as they'd like to be, though. So Swayz really having to put the team on his back. Pip manages to grab this camo. So I think this is one of the first few camos they've managed to get. But BZIIRK, look at him creeping around there, pushing Pip back. Pip now held bottom mid. He's just got to try and find a spot to be able to get some shots where he's not in the sidelines, and he does so there, but isn't able to finish anything off. Coming up against Beastn, he's just not having much luck, Justin. He's putting shots in, but he can't finish off any of these kills, and eventually he's dropped.
He is. I mean, when you're peppering people from bottom mid like that, it's just, you're asking for grenades and everyone to call you out, right? You're just chilling down bottom mid. And bottom, you know, camo player bottom mid is probably the easiest call out on this map, right? You just throw some nades in, few bursts, and they're taken down. So Pip's not able to do much with that camo. Scoreline 26-29, first to 50 for those playing at home. Plasma trying to get some kills going. The kill feed, double kill for Madsy.
Triple for Madsy.
Might have been the triple kill for Madsy. Now with Swayz trying to get something going. He goes down, but Swayz, he's on 12 and 8 currently, so doing his best to capture fire. Rated finds BZIIRK, gives in the back smack, and then Pips helps him take down Slayz as well. Beastn doing his best to stay alive. Double kill for him, triple zero if he wants it. Doesn't able to secure it, but players are falling left and right. 36-30 in favor of the Chiefs right now. Divine Mind, they're trailing a little bit, Hoots, and the Slayers are their strongest game type so far tonight. They've got to do something. They've got to do it now.
Yeah, the Chiefs seem to really be bringing that aggression now in those few moments there where they've bought this slight lead out that Divine Mind are starting to eat back a little bit, which is important. But we did see Madsy, I think you're right, Justin, I think he had a triple before, and as soon as he had that, you just saw the aggression that he had running in, putting in shots all over the map. That's the kind of stuff that he really does seem to thrive off. His 4-kill gap for Chiefs, you know, we are getting down towards the business end, so this is where we might maybe see the pace taken out of the game a little bit. This camo coming up is absolutely crucial in terms terms of teams being able to break any kind of setup that might be formed by the pace being taken out. Beastn wants to make a move on it. He hasn't been able to yet, and he's going to get caught out by Plasma. I think it is. So Plasma v Madsy one-on-one for this camo. Madsy's actually going to be able to get... Oh, he's actually dropped right towards the end, and at least he puts this camo in, Plasma. So if he is dropped, it's not going to be in the hands of the Chiefs. 38-39. Chiefs still holding just a slight lead. The Plasma really needs to use his camo effectively, get his shields back, and then start to press out. Nice kill there on BZIIRK. Going to start to push in on Slayz with his teammate. That's another drop. So they've actually taken the lead now, Justin, 41-39. This one's getting really close.
It's so close, and Divine Mind flipping the script a little bit here. They've been trailing the entire time, and what a time to take the lead. Plasma able to use all of that camo as well, who's 42-40. Divine Mind looking to close this one out. They're trading out kills. 1 kill the difference. On board with Pips. He's 11-11 right now. 9 assists as well. Certainly pulling his weight in this game. And he's playing very conservative here. Looking for his opportunities. Really thinking things out. Bit of area denial with the sizzle stick there. Throwing things out. But he's also giving away that his position. He's in there. And here comes BZIIRK. He wants to sort him out. Pushes him back with a grenade. Wingman medal for Pips. So that's 5 assists in a row for the big man himself. 1 kill the difference, 45-44. It's going to go down to the wire. Who's 45-45?
45-45, as you said, Justin. Beastn here on board with him, 13-12, so he's putting in a fair bit of effort for his teammates. Starting to push in on Plasma. That's a big pick there. They now take a 2-kill lead. Shots on above. He does manage to back out, and using those thrusters to make sure he gets away nice and safe. There's another assist there, Justin, so they only need 1 more. Geez, that was quick. They've turned it around super quickly right now. Beastn just hunting for this last kill. I don't know whether, I think they're all spawning in back flag. Divine Minds, this is going to be really hard for them to get out without dropping a life. Camo in the hands of Beastn as well. So if they move back a little bit, they can just let Beastn, but he's going to be dropped. So Raided takes him down. But unfortunately for Divine Mind, it is the Chiefs taking that one out. 50-48. We thought this was the one game type that if Divine Mind had any chance that they'd be able to take. The Chiefs make a massive statement there, Justin. Winning in a close one as well. That just has to be absolutely crushing for Divine Mind. Chiefs now move up 2-0 in this series and are 1 game away from reversing Divine Mind in our Pro Series 7.
Yeah, it's certainly pretty crazy. Divine Mind struggling just a little bit. They went toe to toe, but it just was not enough. The Chiefs just so strong, and they took the lead just for a moment. They could see the finish line to take them out, but the Chiefs, they're coming in swinging big time.
Absolutely.
Taking that one out 50-48 there, Hoots, and I don't know, I'm feeling a Chiefs victory. Divine Mind, yes, they're holding on, yes, they're competing, but they've got to close things out. It doesn't matter how well you played at the start or the middle of the game. It's all about how you finish, and Chiefs seems to be the better finisher at this point in time.
God, just how much momentum has come from that bizarre CTF game that we had last series. I feel that was really just the point where Divine Mind were looking like they were on top in most respects, but Chiefs managed to pull out that really clutch win, and from there it's just been, it's almost been smooth sailing for them from there. So, you know, we now move over to Strongholds on Livefire, I think it is, and, you know, that's a game type where Livefire in general is a game type where we have seen the Chiefs, objectively especially, do a lot of solid work throughout tonight, not just against Divine Mind, but just I think if you're a Divine Mind player right now, you've got to be feeling pretty down in the dumps. The nerves are kicking in because you just know that there's a chance you might be blowing a pretty comprehensive victory that you were setting yourself up for.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that much of a parachute just waiting there for you, and like you got your parachute and you're poking holes in it by dropping maps that you shouldn't be dropping and not clutching up, then you're looking to make yourself splatter on the ground. So Divine Mind, it's time to just reset. Go, boys. Heads in the game. No more messing about. Do we want to win the series or not? So hopefully they can bring things back. But the Chiefs, they're looking really, really strong. They're looking good. They're feeling good. They've got the speed. They've got the violence. They've got the momentum behind them. And they're at the tippity top of the mountain, but they're only really halfway up. And we'll have to see if they can close this one out, Hoots.
Absolutely. I want to keep a particular eye on Raided throughout this match, just because we did see him starting to lift and go back to that form that we had him performing at last week, but you know, it might have come a little bit too late for Divine Mind. We do have Rated and Pips and Plasma all dropped at the start. Slayz jumping around, spinning already. He's going to have shots across the way on Swayz, and this OS should be popping quite soon as well, so getting in a nice position to pick this one up. Chiefs triple cap already, Justin. That's a statement in itself as this OS pops, and we just have Divine Mind players dropping everywhere. Slayz, I love that. Rather than going for the triple and the highlight reel, backing up instead, putting that OS in, knowing he's way more valuable to his team, holding that OS rather than being dead. And look at this, we still have a triple cap despite being 3 dead at one point there. The Chiefs, Divine Mind had not been able to get in and put a stop to that until now, trying to capture B and C. But look at the jump that the Chiefs have already made, Justin. 79-80 now to nothing, and we've only been playing for about a minute.
That was ridiculous. They were on like 35 points before Slayz even managed to put the OS on, and he was uncontested. Like, the Chiefs just came out of the gates like they were dogs at the track. It was just ridiculous. And they're already about to tick over to 100 points already. And, you know, we're on board with Plasma down bottom mid, and he's kind of caught going, bros, what do we do? What are we going for? And Divine Mind, they're just on the back foot, getting pushed over that cliff edge. And the Chiefs, they want to close this series out. They've come out of the gates swinging. Divine Mind in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely a little bit of trouble. They are starting to score now. I did see Chiefs looking like they were making a push onto that C side, but unfortunately they weren't able to secure it. Beastn sending himself up in the air like we saw Plasma do on the King of the Hill game in the last series. Unfortunately, doesn't work out for him either. So about a 90-point lead right now for the Chiefs. OS in the hands of Pip, so they really needed to get one of these OSs early on to try and get some momentum to bring this score back a bit. They are going on a nice little run here, but they still have to keep in mind that the Chiefs went to town on them in the opening minute of this game, and it's a deficit. They're going to have to work pretty hard to try and level back. They do have ANC now, so starting to score once again, and the Slayz looking like they're starting to pick that back a little bit as well. The Chiefs really got the jump on them at the very beginning. Divine Mind didn't have much to answer with, but we do now have 3 dead for Divine Mind, 4 up for the Chiefs, so they're going to start to score. BZIIRK, I'd be saying, get into that B side at least and start capping it. Got that assist now, turns around. I love the quick movement. Unfortunately, doesn't land any of the sticks, but this B side now is being captured by the Chiefs. Going for remote detonation, no one there to connect with, but he could, if he wanted to, move into this A side as well, Justin, and start to go for another triple cap.
He certainly could, and something I want to highlight before is just how well Pips utilized that overshield to break the setup, get some kills, and go on a little bit of a run, but still, they're trailing by almost 80 points at this point, Hoots. It's getting pretty rough day in the office for them. Double kill for Beastn, the shutdown, that stronghold grab, but Swayz responds instantly, and the triple kill. So many Divine Mind players drop, but somehow they end up with a triple kill. Now Swayz, the star montage maker in hand, 8 bullets to play with. He finds one, taking him down with a tasty quickscope, hits the body shot and the double. Swayz waking up a little bit. He wants to keep his team in this game. He does get taken down, but Pips is there to respond. Revenge time for him. Now Pips with that sniper in hand. He's got 4 bullets to play with. They're trailing a little bit, but that score line, that deficit is just shrinking. It's almost gone, Hoots. That start of the game, Chiefs starting with like an 80-point run, that's completely gone. It is back to even.
Yeah, I know. This is, you just feel the momentum definitely has changed. That was a big win there, though, for, I'm not sure who that was. I think it was whoever it was that took down Swayz at the top of the tower there. And just like that, look, you see Chiefs coming back in, taking a double cap now, starting to score. Divine Mind had really brought that back, but their setup was just evaporated straight away. And Divine Mind now starting to try and get this A site back, but look at Beastn here starting to move in, denying that cap there, wanting to keep scoring as they move into B, start to cap this one as well if they can get a reset, although C is starting to be captured now. So it is a real back and forth, but they're starting to score themselves again, Chiefs. So Divine Mind, though, great effort to try and get back in this one. It was all off the back of that triple cap. So we've seen seen both teams now, Justin, with pretty lengthy triple caps where they've done most of their work. The nades just coming in there from Beastn, taking out Rated, starts to go up against Pips on the catwalk there, can't drop him, doing some good work of trying to defend this B side, but that is 3 down for the Chiefs again, so we're going to see Divine Mind, you just think, start to move in on this B side to try and get a capture here and start scoring again, but this game's staying really close, Justin.
Yeah, Divine Mind not going down without a fight. I honestly thought it was all she wrote when Chiefs came out of the gate. That hot there, Swayz. He does go down. Now on board with Plasma, who's 8-8 right now, doing everything that he can for his squad. And Divine Mind, they've got 2 strongholds on their side. They're racking up some points, but here comes Chiefs responding. They're like, boys, you can catch us. You can try, but you're chasing the carrot. You're never going to get us. You're never going to catch us. And Plasma trying to use that drop shield. He's backed off, staying alive, and that's so important. They cannot be giving up deaths that they don't need to. Speaking of deaths, looks like Slayz has been dishing a few of them out. 17-9. That is just redonkulous. But Divine Mind still, doesn't matter how much Slayz is putting damage down on the map, Divine Mind's still right there with them, Hoots.
Oh, that OS just got picked up by Slayz, but I don't think it went in, so I think it's fallen off the back of that little silo there. This is going to be a huge run if Plasma can actually get this and put it in, although it will go in the hands of Pip, so Divine Mind still managing to secure that OS. That's absolutely huge in the grand scheme of things, because look what we have right now. Justin, Divine Mind have the lead. They were about to put a triple cap in. They do have this triple cap, so this OS absolutely huge, enabling Pips to get down there, taking out Beastn. 2 down for Chiefs, and the Divine Mind really starting to race away now. They've got about a 30-point lead coming up, and the time is also getting closer to that 250 limit. We did shout out Slayz before on the Chiefs squad, but have a look at Swayz as well for Divine Mind. 15-9, putting in a lot of work for his squad there. The Chiefs really need to try and peg one of these sides back to start scoring again, because Divine Mind are about to hit this 200 point, and that's when you really start to panic if you're on the opposition team, knowing that you need to start getting in hills, starting to make some captures and bringing that score up. They are briefly looking like they're potentially going for a triple cap. That A site will be reset, but B and C now scoring for Chiefs, so they're starting to bring that back a little bit, Justin. I have the feeling this one's going to go right down to the wire. Chiefs looking to close this series and the tournament out here in this game 3, but Divine Mind fighting tooth and nail to try and stay in it and force at least a game 4.
Yeah, and now Slayz, he's popping off big time in the Slayz department, and he's got that heat wave. He's just locking down C, picks up a kill across the map there. He's just like, boys, I've got to get in the action. I'm a freight train. You've got to get me moving. Keep that momentum on my side. He picks up 1 second there if he wants it. Killing spree for him. Absolutely massive string of kills from Slayz there. He's looking for more targets, and it does look like the Chiefs are managing to hold 2 strongholds. The scoreline is neck and neck. It's do or die for Divine Mind right now. If the Chiefs manage to close this one out, they will beat them after the bracket reset and become tonight's champions. No. But Divine Mind, they're holding on. Rated with a double kill, rewarded with that OS. This is such a critical OS, Hoots. Here comes Divine Minds. They've got to close this game out to keep their tournament lives alive.
And not just that, they're going for the triple cap on B. If they can put that in, they will really start to race away. The time now is pretty much all tied up. Chiefs are fighting tooth and nail for this seed. They will, I think, cap that one, given that they managed to get a few drops there. They are 4 up as well, so Chiefs actually back scoring 210 all. Justin, Chiefs now starting to race away a little bit. Divine Mind need to get this one push and do it really perfectly. I think one more spawn cycle of deaths and they're going to really have their backs up against the wall. It's 2 down for Chiefs, 2 down for Divine Mind. These next couple of kills, Justin, going to be absolutely crucial. Only about 20 points now left for the Chiefs to close this one out. They are still scoring. Divine Mind's push hasn't really worked. Beastn chasing down Swayz there. He gets dropped. BZIIRK holding this C site here with the heat wave. And Justin, I think this could almost be enough, but this C site is starting to go. Divine Mind are 2 stacking it, and he can't get a kill there, BZIIRK. That's 2 down for Divine Mind, 2 down for Chiefs. Beastn's just going to try and rush in. This C site is being recaptured for Chiefs, so only 10 points required for Chiefs, and you can see them stacked around C here, but looks like B is being held as well, so they're only only seconds away, but it looks like B is now being contested as well from Divine Mind, although they're 3 dead, Justin. They're not going to be in any position, I don't think, to try and contest these ones, although C will stop the scoring momentarily whilst A changes hands, Justin. It's a bit of a back and forth, but I think that should do it. I think we're going to see the Chiefs reverse sweep and take the victory here. 3-0 in our second series. They come from the clouds after being belted in the winners finals, go to the losers bracket, come back, 2 series in a row they win. What a tournament we've had. They do it again. They managed the reverse sweep. The only team we've seen, I think, do it so far in the HCS, Luke.
Yep, only team to force a bracket reset, only team to win a bracket reset. They've done it twice now. The Chiefs are showing us exactly why they have a dynasty here in Halo Infinite, albeit some different names this time around, but the name still is there nonetheless on the championship. And shout out to the Chiefs, man. Like, being able to dig that deep, get yourself a 3-1 victory in the first best of 5, and then come back for a 3-0 in the second best of 5. These guys must have some insane kind of mental when it comes to a long night like this. You know, we talked a whole lot about them, you know, potentially being a little bit out of that winners bracket final, but Justin, that elimination bracket final must have certainly given them something, because they came back with a vengeance in that elimination final, and now into the grand final. They only lost 1 map and they won 9 in a row, by the way. Just like ever since that elimination final, whenever they lost that winners final, they went 9-1. So it is kind of crazy that these guys were able to get dealt a spanking like that and then come back and get another tournament victory under their belts. Insane.
Yeah, massive reality check, right? It's kind of when you're top dog, sometimes it's easy to get complacent and go, yeah, boys, we got it. Your head's not really in the game. And then when you get spanked like that in the winners final, and then you have to have your in-game leader just telling you to pull your heads in so you can get back into the game. And they were able to do that, and that's what's important. I've said it before, it's a true test of a good team, not when they play good Halo, it's how they respond to when they're on the back foot, and that they can bounce back from those losses. And that's how you win games. You know, if you're trailing, if you can't catch up and take control of that game, then you're just going to straight up lose that map. And the Chiefs put on a clinic of how to just brush things off and go, okay, boys, we botched it first time around, let's get our heads in the game. And they turned things around and they just dominated both those series there. You know, Divine Mind had a few moments of glory, but a few moments of glory doesn't show the W up on the scoreboard.